You are now listening to the Outsiders Podcast, the most exciting and hard-hitting show on the net. And now, bringing it hard as always, here are your hosts, Clint Schweitzer and Noah Groniger.
And here we are on the Outsiders Podcast, Clint Schweitzer, Noah Groniger, talking about the big Alice Cooper, Marilyn Manson concert coming up Thursday night at Cricket Wireless Amphitheater in Bonner Springs, Kansas. And none other than Alice Cooper guitarist Ryan Roxy is about to join us on this very program.
You got the rock and roll parking lot. If you can find him, you can get your picture, you can meet the man.
That's right. We're going to talk to him about that rock and roll parking lot, something Roxy likes to do at each concert, where he'll post on his Facebook page the location of his backstage, where he's going to be, and then you can go and actually meet him and get a picture or maybe an autograph. So that's just one really cool thing Roxy does. Out there with, my opinion, the best lineup of an Alice Cooper band in many years. We're talking about, he plays with Orianthi, Glenn Sobel on drums, Chuck Garrick on bass, Tommy Hendrickson on guitars, and of course, the sadistic megalomaniac Alice Cooper, one of my favorite artists of all time, and that's going to be this Thursday night at Cricket Wireless Amphitheater. Very pumped for that. When it comes to Ryan Roxy, of course, here's a guy who had been in several bands before joining Alice Cooper, bands like Candy, Electric Angels, and Dad's Porno Mag. He also has side projects, Roxy 77 and Casablanca. He's always out there playing. He's just a guy, a rock and roller that's always out there playing somewhere, in some venue, in some country. He lives in Sweden now, I believe. So it is with our pleasure we're going to go ahead and bring on the man, Ryan Roxy.
From deep in the heart of Hollywood, Glam Nation 1977, Ryan Roxy.
Our next guest is one of the great guitar players in all of rock. He had played in such bands as Candy, Electric Angels, and Dad's Porno Mag, and is currently one of 3 guitarists in Alice Cooper's band. Please welcome to the Outsiders Podcast, Mr. Ryan Roxy.
All right, guys, it is our pleasure to welcome to the Outsiders Podcast current Alice Cooper guitarist Ryan Roxy, who is enjoying a day off from the Masters of Madness tour. Ryan, it's a little hot today. I don't think you're out playing golf with Alice. Is that accurate?
You're absolutely wrong. I already was. I already did my 18 this morning. It was hot as hell, but we enjoyed it. And, yeah, I don't know if enjoying it, I'm surviving it. How about that?
Well, do you ever beat Alice? I mean, I hear he's got a pretty good handicap.
There's 2 things you don't do. You never upstage Alice Cooper because it can't be done. He is the master showman. And you never beat Alice at golf. Those are the 2 rules of being in the Alice Cooper
I'll
band.
keep that in mind. Although for me, I don't think it would be a problem to ever attempt to upstage the man. He is the living legend, Alice Cooper. Of course, you guys are rolling into town here in Kansas City, Cricket Wireless Amphitheater tomorrow night. And everyone's real excited about the Masters of Madness tour. How's it been going so far? I mean, the shows have been getting rave reviews. I mean, it's a whole new tour. I know you rejoined the band a year ago, but this is a whole new deal, whole new set list. How's things been going on the road so far?
I'm excited to be back. It's something that I look at every single show is like, wow, am I really back here doing this on this level? It's amazing for me. I'm very blessed and happy to be here. But the tour itself is like completely surprised me because the synergy of the bands, both the Manson band and the Alice Cooper band, we just get along really well, and the crews get along, and the crowds get along. Believe it or not, it's like you can see these old schoolers and new schoolers, and everybody coming there to curiosity factor, and just going there for the love of rock and roll and love of whatever it is type of music that we're playing.
Well, this is great. I mean, you rejoined the band a year ago. 2 summers, you guys have gone out on big tours. Last summer, of course, you did the big Iron Maiden tour. How was that? I mean, going out with, Bruce and the gang. I mean, that was I saw that show in Chicago. It was unbelievable. You guys absolutely brought it, and, we're right on par with Maiden, in my opinion.
Well, thank you very much. Those guys, I had posters of those guys on my wall, so anytime you can, when I was growing up, and the thing is, it's crazy to play with these guys that you idolize growing up, and then all of a sudden you meet them, and they're completely cool to you. They're coming in the dressing room, they're saying, hey, have a good show. You look over the side of the stage, and there's Nico or there's Adrian, and they're, cheering you on, and then they go on and completely rule the night, and they're dedicated fans. We thought they were going to be Cooper and the band, and that was a really special tour.
Oh, it was unbelievable, and this one again with Marilyn Manson. I think it's going to be great out here at Cricket Wireless Amphitheater. Our venue's changed names a few times, Ryan's got to keep up with that, but it's going to be a hot one. Everybody's very excited about it. Now let's talk about another thing that you like to do at each of your concerts, which is the rock and roll parking lot. Now you're posted up at each venue. Fans are welcome to come, get a picture, I assume, say hello. Tell us about how that got started and how that's been going.
I wanted to do something that was a little bit different than the way normally a rock show happens. Everybody always wants to go backstage and see what it's like backstage. Well, let me tell you right now, other than this Marilyn Manson Cooper tour, it's usually kind of boring. Now these days, it's a little bit wild backstage, but usually an Alice Cooper concert, it's pretty tame. So I actually wanted to come out to the crowd, see what type of crowd we're going to play for, shake the hands, and meet the people that we're playing for. And if they have things for us to sign, do it before the show instead of after, when everyone's sort of trying to get home and this and that. So I want to do it before the show. So I organized this thing on Facebook. It's facebook.com/rock and roll parking lot. You go there, you sign up. You'll know exactly where we're playing, and I'll announce a time. Somebody from the organization will announce the time that I'll come out there. Sometimes other Alice Cooper band members come out there. Sometimes they don't. But for sure, I do it every single night because it's a great way to bond with the fans and get the whole rock and roll vibes starting to happen early.
This is very cool, and a recent update for those of you going to the Kansas City show, they did make a post that it's going to be they're going to be out at the merch stand. The large merch stand, so that's a bit of news. I didn't know if you were aware of that. I guess that's where you're going to be. So we'll look for a time for that. We'll definitely come and say hello, and you're going to have Roxy 77 merchandise. If anyone wants that, they can email you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just go to ryanroxy.com or find me and that's where all the links are, whether it's Facebook. Again, I guess we're going to try and do it at 7:45 p.m. at the main merch stand. No, it's not 7:45 because it's an early show tomorrow. I guess it might be 6:30 at the main merch stand, and then we'll just do our show and then watch Manson do his. Because this is one of those rare instances tomorrow that Manson's going to be closing the show. So it is a co-headline tour, but most of the nights we've been going on after Manson. So it'll be cool for us to play in front of him tomorrow.
I was actually not aware of that. I was going to bring up the fact that Alice had been headlining these shows. Our local radio station had been promoting it as, Marilyn Manson with special guest Alice Cooper. I'm not sure how I feel about that, Ryan. I'm telling you, Alice Cooper is the originator of shock rock. I don't know how this came about, but Alice should be closing every night.
At the end of the day, Marilyn Manson has been nothing but a complete gentleman to Alice Cooper, and there's mutual respect on both ends. The guy has been, he's really surprised me with he's a funny guy actually, really witty, quick, intelligent, a little crazy, yeah,
Certainly.
That's the reason why he has those rumors, get started in the first place. But that's that whole thing. He keeps you talking about the artist. It keeps you talking about the show, and it ultimately keeps you talking about Marilyn Manson and Alice Cooper.
Well, I got to ask you about the current Alice Cooper band because, Ryan, I'll tell you what, a lot of people talking about this being maybe the best band that Alice Cooper has ever had. I mean, you're talking about Tommy Henriksen, yourself, Orianthi, who's smoking hot, by the way, on guitar, Chuck Garrick, and Glenn Sobel on drums. I mean, this is widely regarded as the best Alice Cooper lineup in some time. I mean, how do you feel about working with those guys I just mentioned? And Orianthi, who once again is absolutely just smoking hot.
Orianthi is one of the premier guitar players that is out there today, and it wouldn't matter if she was a girl or a boy. She's, just an amazing guitar player, period, hands down. Everybody in the whole band, really plays their role well. I look, to my sides every night and I go, man, I'm really lucky to be in this band. I feel like, we've worked hard to make all the arrangements of these classic Alice Cooper songs come to life. We put our own twist on some of the arrangements, but we stick to the original arrangements of the original bands that Alice recorded them with as well. So I think it's a good mix of both. Like I said, the band is kicking ass right now. I'm proud to be in it, but thanks for all the kind words. And I guess the best way to experiences, just come on out to the show and see it.
Well, and I got to ask you about Alice himself. I mean, Alice refers to himself in the third person a lot. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is old school. He plays a character on stage. Do you see that? I mean, would you agree with that? You know him personally. When he's off stage, I mean, he talks about all the time how he can joke about football and sports, and when the curtain drops and your intro music hits, he's a different person. Do you agree with that?
At the end of the day, Alice is Alice. You know, his wife calls him Alice. His wife, who's in the show, by the way, you'll see her tomorrow night. She plays the freakazoid zombie nurse. But, you know, she calls him Alice. His mom calls him Alice. I call him Alice. I actually call him Coop. He's, you know, he's...
It's endearing.
No, he is Alice Cooper. But that character that he becomes, that sinister Alice on stage, that's the guy you don't want to mess with. I don't mess with that Alice on stage. You know, when he starts getting swords and whips and, you know, and guillotines in his hands, I'm telling you, I say when he tells me to, like, he puts his hand and says, "Get away," I move. You know, but then, like I say, in the mornings when we're golfing, when he's giving me advice on, you know, musical career advice, I listen to him, and you know, he's the best guy to be around. So I kind of get the best of both worlds hanging out with Alice, the way we get the chance to do. I know not a lot of people get that opportunity, and you know, it's one of those things I get to see two sides of like a really amazing artist.
And of course, I mean, you guys are bringing out the guillotine on this tour. You're doing, I mean, from the intro I saw, I've never seen an Alice Cooper intro like this, which is "Hello Hooray," one of my favorite Alice songs. Coming out with the pyro, and I think that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Spoiler alert! Come on now, don't give everything away.
We got to give him something.
Well, the thing is, though, I think it is a classic. Alice and the Guillotine. That's what people have come to expect. You know, it would be like Kiss, Gene Simmons not spitting fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Alice has to get his head cut off, and that's basically what he's doing. It's just how that he does it every show and every year. There's a little twist on it. It's a little bit different. So you'll see this year that there's how he ends up, you know, getting executed is a little bit different, and it goes within the storyline of the show. That is one of the charms of the Alice Cooper show. There is a storyline to it. So at the end of the day, it's not just classic, you know, rock and roll songs, but it's also a theater piece.
Oh yeah, Alice has certainly evolved with the times. So many different eras, so many different types of albums, and that's what I think's made him so endearing as a rock figure. Of course, this is actually personally going to be my 9th time seeing Alice. Can't wait. In fact, Ryan, got to bring this up. One time, I believe in Topeka, Kansas, on the Dirty Diamonds tour, you on the bottom side of your Gibson guitar, flip it up. We reveal an Oakland Raiders sticker. Now we're coming back to Kansas City, Ryan. We can't have that happen again, or we may just have a riot on our hands.
I thought you guys loved me for that. Wait a second. I thought I was coming in peace, and you know, all I got was pieces of stuff thrown at me.
Hey, you live in Sweden now, though. It's all good, right? I mean, you're out of the country most of the year, so.
I live in Sweden, but I'm still a diehard Raider fan. But guess what? We're both of our teams. Come on, let's admit it. Oakland and KC, we're both right now struggling in the AFC West.
It's been a pillow fight, hasn't it? It's been a pillow fight.
Can't we just combine forces and then all of us both hate the Broncos and beat them both games this year? That's 4 games that we get to win if
right.
we combine forces. All right.
Hey, I'm on board with that. I think all Chiefs fans and all Kansas City fans are on board with that. I tell you what, Ryan, before we let you go, I got to get in on some of your solo stuff, some of your side projects. Rather, I mean, you got Roxie 77, Casablanca. Give us updates on what's going on with you aside from the Alice Cooper Band and where people can hear some of your other stuff.
Lots and lots of stuff going on, but as y'all know, Alice Cooper is the priority. He's the guy that I love rocking with every day in and day out. When I'm not on the road with him, I play guitar for a band called Casablanca that's based in Sweden. We just put a new single out. The album is called Riding the Black Swan. It comes out later this year. And my own band, Roxie 77, which is also based out of Sweden, we are already recorded, mixing a new EP, which should come out early next year or maybe even later this year for Christmas.
Awesome. Can't wait to check out all that stuff. Ryan, we're going to come say hello at the Rock and Roll parking lot tomorrow night at Cricket Wireless Amphitheater. Can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to see the band. Cannot thank you enough for coming on today and telling us about the tour. Everybody's really excited. Good luck, man. Enjoy this heat and try to get a little round in of golf tomorrow and try to make more birdies, buddy.
I'll be there. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a great pleasure, and I want to see the Spirit of Rock and Roll live in KC tomorrow.
You betcha, Ryan. We'll be there.
All right. Killer.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you. Awesome stuff from Ryan Roxy. He is in transit from St. Louis to Kansas City right now, getting ready to play this show at Cricket Wireless Amphitheater. The band's pumped. Roxy's pumped. Alice Cooper is pumped to be here. Now, the question is going to be, where's Alice going to play golf while here in Kansas City? Maybe over here at, maybe at Shoal Creek, Hodge Park, the National. Wherever it is, I need to go there and stalk it out. I can tell you that.
You're definitely going to have to find that out. Somehow get on the message board, find out where he's going to be, and go play 9, maybe 18 holes with the great Alice Cooper.
Maybe just run into him, offer a beverage somewhere along. I mean, he couldn't turn me down then.
You are going to be there Thursday night, Clint. How excited are you?
I'm always pumped. Alice Cooper, this will be my 9th time seeing Alice live. I believe at least half of those were with Roxy in the band. Ryan was out of the band from 2006 to 2012. And Alice, the thing about Alice Cooper is the set list always changes. They always change the songs around. They always have a new show. He's doing the guillotine with the head coming off, which is always a great spectacle. Just one of the great rock, a living legend in rock and roll. And for us to have Ryan Roxy on, who's a part of that legend, is unbelievable. Very excited for the concert. We're going to go catch up with Ryan at the Rock and Roll parking lot, maybe grab a picture. I mean, Facebook profile picture, I think so.
I got to get your excitement level. Manson 1 to 10, Alice Cooper 1 to 10.
I think for Manson it's about a 5 because Marilyn Manson is an artist who I do like many albums. I think Antichrist Superstar, Mechanical Animals, Smells Like Children, and Portrait of an American Family. Those 4 albums in the 90s are almost untouchable when it comes to hard rock. The 90s were an era where hard rock was not at the forefront. It was all alternative and grunge. But Marilyn Manson came out with those great albums. I think since then his performance has slipped live. They were such a dangerous live band. They were, you'd always hear about them. In school, I was in middle school when Manson came out, and I remember people that would wear the shirts, and they were kind of the gothic-y kids. It scared me, to be honest, but it was intriguing, and the music backed it up. But I think now Manson, the performance is lacking a little bit. You see some of the YouTube clips from the tour. I saw Manson live about a year ago as well. And it's he still brings out all the good songs, but maybe not quite as Manson as we knew from the 90s. What did you know from Manson in the 90s? It's pretty creepy, huh?
Columbine is what I remember him from. I remember hearing that, and the kids were saying how they listened to Manson.
Which is ridiculous that would ever be a reason for that happening. But you're right.
I know you can't just be normal one day and just I put in a CD and I'm going to go kill a bunch of people. There's something wrong with you way before that, before you even put in the CD to make you go do that.
In the movie Bowling for Columbine, it was Manson himself who said, in defense of himself, saying, instead of trying to speak for these people in this tragedy, we should be listening to the victims, the survivors, and listening to the people this affected, because I think that is a good point, because what good does it do to pin this on him, on video games, on violence, on movies? I mean, you can pin that, and that's what the media does. So Marilyn Manson, he's a stand-up guy. He took, he defended himself for that, and I absolutely defended him as well. And, for Alice Cooper, my excitement level to see Alice is always a 10. He is one of the great performers. He is 65 years old, comes out there and destroys everything in his path. He's a character. Alice Cooper on stage is a character. He plays a character. Off stage, he's just a different guy. But on stage, he is the classic rock and roll villain. He doesn't acknowledge the audience. He never gets a cheap pop. He goes from song to song to song without even... Because as Alice has described it himself, he says, the audience should be there. Should be... bowing at his feet. But Alice Cooper off stage would never say that. Oh, he's humble that they're there. He's a different person.
Exactly, yeah. I hear you.
Which is very cool. I think that's kind of a lost art. And, of course, the movie Wayne's World, we kind of saw that. Great scene from Wayne's World.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely seen that. And, I mean, with all the artists today, you go there and they're playing to the crowd.
Right.
And not really putting on the best show that they can and really doing it for the fans.
He's focused. I mean, the Alice Cooper Band tours nonstop. I mean, Alice has toured at least... a couple months a year, every year for the past 15 years and beyond. But to be that focused and be that into your performance, I love that about Alice. I think that's one thing that sets him apart because you do feel like you're getting a show out of it. He's not there to say, hello, Kansas City, and, use a bunch of language to try to get the crowd into it. the crowd is into it because he has songs dating back to 1969 that everybody loves, everyone comes there to see. So I'm pumped to see Alice, as I always am, and we're so thankful we were able to have Ryan Roxy on the show, one of the great rock guitar players. He's going to be out there. We're going to catch up with him at Rock and Roll Parking Lot, and we can't wait to see you guys out at the show. Cricket Wireless Amphitheater, Thursday night the 27th. The Outsiders Podcast, Clint Schweitzer, Noah Groniger. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at the show.